Well, folks, hey Seth, can you just turn the sound down a little bit? I mean, we have hardly anybody here. I have a feeling that would be the case. Great, great.
Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you. Do you have a CD player?
Yes, she already got some for us.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
That was one where
the reality is, we should have the whole place here.
Is that the same thing as this?
That's music.
Okay.
One's a DVD.
Okay, so what is this? This is
What does
the,
it say? Let me see. That's the disc. You got the DVD, right?
she only handed me this.
Do you have a DVD player?
Yes, I do. It's actually a Sony.
Yeah, because before.
Thanks again, buddy. Okay. Hello.
Thank you so much, sir.
My pleasure. Wonder if we could turn the light. Is there any way to dim down the lights a bit?
Yeah.
Well, everybody should just get together because the mob is about to appear. Well, let me introduce myself. Great, okay. I don't really need a mic. Hello, hello.
Yeah, that's nice.
You like the mic?
Mm-hmm.
How about without?
I like the mic.
You like the mic, okay. So, you want to come up here? You? Just right there? So
I have to watch the door,
No,
but
yeah, no, sorry.
everybody else does.
hello, baby. So, I don't know how much you know I'm talking about with the peace, love, and light. Well, who I am is I'm an MD, I'm a holistic MD, and I founded the San Francisco Medical Research Foundation way back when, promoting holistic health practices. That was in the 70s, so way ahead of the times. And what that morphed into is called the Light Party, which was to bring the holistic perspective into the mainstream. It's like right now they're talking about making America healthy again. Well, we have a health crisis. Everybody agree we've got a health crisis here? Do you know why we have a health crisis? There's many dimensions to the health crisis.
Right.
So this event here, what's happening here, is all about helping to actualize human potential and awakening to our true divine self. At a certain level in consciousness, there is no disease. Disease is a result of a distortion and a enculturation and a conditioning of the mind. But once that gets transformed and transmuted, we connect into that, which is fantastic. In other words, at the highest levels in consciousness, you don't necessarily you can call it God, we call it consciousness. You study the world, religions, the great religions, they all agree that there is what is called the Godhead. You know the concept of a Godhead?
I've heard it before.
Well, people talk about God. It's better known, it's a trinity. It's called the Godhead. And the Godhead is rooted in infinite love, infinite wisdom, and infinite power. That's something to really think about. That is, we are that. That in the East they call Om Tat Sat. I am that I am.
Right.
You know that idea, concept?
Mm-hmm.
So the Light Party is predicated on promoting health, peace, prosperity, and freedom for all. Our inherent intrinsic nature is that. So we're breaking out of this limited understanding of who we are, and we look out at the world, which right now is problematic. People are concerned on many levels. There's a lot of fear out there, yes? Fear-based world. So we're transmuting, it starts with, how do we transmute fear? Well, we have this beautiful program, which is the violet flame. Anybody familiar with the violet flame?
Yeah.
We have a wonderful website, a card called thesacredvioletflame.com. It's a definitive promotion or explanation and teaching of the power of the violet flame, which was brought to the earth in the late 30s by a great ascended being called Saint Germain. He brought these teachings, the I Am Presence teachings. He was educating humanity about the power of the Word and the power of the I Am. So the universe, this is an understanding, the universe, and this is based on this principle that what we believe to be true, becomes true. So the dark side, so to speak, understands the laws of consciousness. So we've been individually and collectively negatively programmed. So people are caught in this illusion of believing A, B, C, and D, when in reality, it's just an illusion. Because we live in an ever-changing fractal universe that's always in a state of creation and destruction. On another level, we're transiting from what's called Kali Yuga. Anybody familiar with it?
I've heard of it.
Which is in the Hindu cosmology, which, as far as I'm concerned, is rooted in truth. There's cycles, grand cycles of time, and we're transiting out of what's called the Kali Yuga. People have different ideas of how long it is, but it's the lowest frequency. It's a cycle where separation is predominant, the belief in separation. And in the East, what we call sin, in the East, is the belief in separation. So what happens when the veils get lifted and we transmute the belief in separation? What happens, one of the things that really happens to me, is we start living intensely in the here and now. Because all the power that ever was or will be is here now. So here it is. You can reprogram your mind. And these videos, it's not subconscious programming, it's superconscious programming. Because the music I picked is very, very beautiful. You know, it's fun. It's enlightening. It's got great energy. I mean, you watch this with headphones, and it's like it's a powerful psychedelic experience. Nothing wrong with that. So after you watch something like this, and you do it repeatedly, you're reprogramming your mind, and it dissolves in a very effortless way. That's why this is revolutionary, the negative program. You don't have to fight the negative programming. All you got to do is replace it. You with me?
Yes.
People spend thousands and thousands to try to liberate themselves by changing themselves or getting to a more enlightened state. And there are many different ways of doing this. But what we put together, and it's fundamental to the Light Party, are programs that are fun, powerful, and most importantly, they work. So moving back in time, as a physician, I started the Light Party. And that was in first was the Human Ecology Party. I wrote a book called The Human Ecology Party. In the Human Ecology program in the early 80s. And it's a self-help program. It's about how you can, the fundamentals of changing your habits, exercise, good nutrition, positive mental emotional attitudes, getting out in nature, very critical, learning, conscious breathing, I am that I am. So in a very simple way, working with the universal principles, God is always listening to you because you are that. So you say, here's like an affirmation. God is, and so am I. But if you like, you can say God, Goddess is all it is. But God, in its deep meaning, is actually androgynous. It's not a he and a she. And if you look at the word, because a lot of the feminists get very upset that God is always defined as a he. But here's a secret. God is more like she. Now, if you look at the word she, guess what? We got the word he in it. So God ultimately, and I speak as one who has had very deep experiences of the supreme being in the universe, which is in me. So what we've done is created programs that will give people a taste of the inner realities of the infinite love, infinite wisdom, and infinite power that God is in us. So the more that we can begin to connect consciously with that, then we go superconscious, subconscious, conscious mind, and then we start self-actualizing as a conscious co-creator of the universe. This music is so hot. I mean, this is a German archetypal musician named Navis. I get turned on to this stuff. We turn the sound down, but you listen to, I have such awe of the technology that's been created. And this is all Silicon Valley guys. But if you really get your head into who and what creates tremendous intelligence to have this type of electronic translation. The music in this is very clean. And of course, we've created all these images. So it's a stream of consciousness. And my favorite fan, my number one fan of Artainment is my cat, Freddie. I watch a lot of this stuff late at night. He hops at the end of the bed. He's a beautiful, beautiful, he's my guru, which is a she.
My cat likes to watch TV too.
And he sits at the end of the bed, and watching him, he's on his hind legs. And you know how, they're so here and now, cats, right? They're so present. And he's looking at this stuff, and he's wagging his tail.
Good for him.
I get such a kick out of it. But I'm getting a kick out of it too. This is really nice to watch before you go to sleep. So we have hours and hours and hours. This is fundamental to the light party because this is a way to raise consciousness without basically threatening anybody's belief systems. This is pure art. We have another piece which we just finished. It's called Bach, Beethoven, and Beyond.
Oh.
Some of the most glorious, glorious music you'll ever hear. The penultimate Christian spiritual music. But it's anybody who listens to this, it's church in its most beautiful. But we've layered in these kind of images. So it's like, you're in church. You're converted to God, and God is so with us. You really appreciate creativity. And just, looking at the whole musical lineage, who and what created, you had Handel and Mozart and Beethoven. These great composers were inspired. So where does inspiration come from? I have hours and hours, it's not just classical, of inspired music. We have musical messages designed to inspire delight. When you go to the Light Party homepage, there's a whole section on music. We have a whole section on optimal nutrition, the best nutritional product. We have a 7-point platform. I'll go over the 7 points. And it's built on a dime. It's a matrix. Number 1, Project Health. The strength of our nation is directly proportional to the health of our people. Healthy soil creates healthy plants, and healthy plants create healthy people. It's foundational. It's axiomatic. Well, if you look out in the world, most people are eating junk food. Junk in, junk out. So you get a tremendous amount of diabetes, heart disease, cancer, because this body, sacred temple of the divine, this body should be running like a Mercedes-Benz. Right now it's more like a Model T Ford. Aches and pains. And then of course the pharmaceutical industry and the AMA, it's a disease model, it's not a health model. Of course that's changing. I mean, like him or not, Robert Kennedy Jr. is aware of what we're talking about. And it's a massive shift because people have to start taking responsibility for their health. And most of us are habit, we've had it. People should be out taking a walk in nature. I'm very much into what's called earthing. For those the concept of earthing?
I probably know it, but I'm not sure.
It's very popular and it's very effective. You just lie on the earth.
Okay.
And you connect
I'm so
with Mother
impressed.
Nature. Is everybody here aware of the fact that the earth is a goddess, is a living being? Tremendous energy. Just just before, I go out, I live in Marin County. This is true. I go out to what's called Point Reyes Peninsula, which is a major energy vortex out there in the ocean. I go out there every day. Every day. I walk on the beach, you know, without my, and the prana there is extraordinary. And I just walk out there and I get completely energized. But that's something, thank God, it's something I can do every day. And of course, when I'm out there, I'm playing my favorite music tapes. So it's a trip. But the prana from the ocean and the air out there is very strong. You fill your whole being, you know, with power. And of course, you don't have to go anywhere because you can call that in within yourself. You say, God, fill me with your light, fill me with your love, fill me with your compassion. You command God, and God, yes, okay, what else you like? What else do you want? And the universe responds. So, you know, people do prayers all the time. So, fundamentally, earthing is a very, very powerful, and it's very, very popular now. There's a lot of and then the next one, which is what I do, it's called intermittent fasting. Are you familiar with that concept? Now, this is really interesting because, you know, people are very upset about the environment and so on and so forth. It's the most powerful link that a person can do who feels overwhelmed about the environmental crisis, etc. Well, what happens when you start eating a lot less food? Besides the fact that your pocketbook, you know, takes a strain off your pocketbook, but it also takes tremendous pressure off the ecosystems of the planet. I mean, most people, like you go to New York, it's like one big restaurant. People are completely oblivious to what's sustaining them. They take it all for granted, right? I mean, you go into a store and here it is, but a lot of the food, unless you do Good Earth or Whole Foods, most of the food that people are giving is worthless. It's junk food. I mean, we know that. So when you start consciously under-consuming, you're basically helping yourself, and it also gives your body a sabbatical, gives your body a chance to rest. Because when you eat a lot of food, your body has to use its energy to digest the stuff, which brings us back to the whole thing with the immune system. Our immune system is our thymus gland, and most of it, our immune system is in the gut. So people now know all about probiotics, right? But the vast majority of people don't know, and they eat, it's a heavy meat eating culture. Well, do you know what happens to undigested meat?
Sits there in your colon.
It putrefies.
Oh, putrefies in the colon?
Poison. It's called auto-intoxication. And our dear President Trump, just take one look at him. I mean, he's a walking toxic dump. You know, I mean, for real. The reason I mention that is a lot of his body is because he eats a lot of him. He's continually flooding and poisoning his liver. That's why, you know, besides his political, why he's always angry. He's always angry. You never feel from this guy anything of light or love or, he's angry. He's an angry guy.
And that's the liver.
That's right. That's the liver. The liver is being poisoned because of the heavy protein intoxication. Interesting, huh? I'm talking to MD.
Is it just animal protein that poisons the liver, or just protein?
Well, the whole point is that animal protein is very hard for the body to digest. It's difficult. You know, they have now all these superfoods that have pea proteins, or it's very easy for the body to assimilate. One of the things that I eat is, you know about bee pollen, right?
Yes.
It's a superfood. There's another product, which is the top one, it's called pine pollen. It's like golden. You take a little bit of this pine pollen. Are you familiar with spirulina?
Yes.
You do a little bit of pine pollen, a little bit of, you know, spirulina, mix it with some coconut juice or what. You do that, you don't think about food for 10 hours.
So what does it come off of? Pine needles?
Yeah, you can look it up. It's on Amazon, pine pollen. It's a superfood. There are many the whole point is there's all these superfoods out there. A lot of it is green food. Why green? Well, here's another point. Green vegetation is chlorophyll.
Right.
Chlorophyll stimulates in the kidneys a hormone called erythropoietin. And erythropoietin is what stimulates the production of red blood cells. How interesting. So a lot of people are anemic because they're not getting the greens. The greens help regenerate red blood cells. And as you probably know, our body is going through a metamorphosis every day in terms of the amount of cells that are dying and new cells. You know, they've now studied, you know, it used to be the idea every 7 years, idea. Well, they've now looked at how much time actually the liver regenerates itself, or how much time the blood, the volume of the blood changes. So the point is, this is one of my favorite pieces.
What'd you say? It's your favorite?
No, it's one of my favorites.
Well, you know, there was a gentleman that that had a class that talked about that liver this
Well,
week.
you know, that's liver intoxication, poison liver. It's very common because we're a heavy medium culture. People don't, you know, it creates poison.
Is it possible to regenerate the liver?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is the thing about nature. Nature has unbelievably powerful regenerative powers. I mean, I don't want to start with the human body. You give nature a little chance and she'll take care of business. But if you keep insulting and insulting and insulting, then there's a consequence. You're overwhelming nature. That's why I talk about intermittent fasting. It basically supports nature's natural healing. You give nature a break. We take all this for granted. I mean, nature is creating this unbelievable abundance, not just for food, but for many, many things. So that's one of the keys. And what does this have to do with the Light Project? Health is what we're promoting, and these are the keys. And most doctors now, they're writing books, and they're all on the same page. You got to exercise. You got to develop some kind of spiritual, mental, emotional, meditative practice to gain control of your mental, emotional body. And exercise is super important. And you've got to implement these in your life, you know, as a practice. If you don't, you suffer the consequences, which is disease. There's no blame, you know, the body's always going to tell us how you're doing. It's a great teacher. Pain and suffering is all about a wake-up call. But there's going to come a point where we move into a higher dimensional frequency, the earth will move, where you're in fifth dimensional consciousness, which is what I call, and it's called Buddha Christ consciousness. In other words, you are having the same energetic power that Christ had. You know, that was he was demonstrating human potential. You with me? He was showing. You know, he always said, "The Father in me doeth all the work." You may not be a Christian. He anchored the Christ consciousness. He was like 2,300 years ago. He also knew that it was going to be eons of time before humanity woke up, which is the Aquarian age, where millions and millions and millions, ultimately billions of people will be walking in the light, in the here and now. So one of the ideas that I see, because people we all are concerned about what's going to happen. Are we going to survive? We got all this SHIT happening. We got corruption here and corrupt politicians. I mean, it just goes on. You get your head into this stuff and, you know, you might as well dig a ditch and forget it, right? I joke with my friend who's very bought into the whole negative paradigm. I swear I do my editing. He's watching Fox News or the news, and you know, I walk in there. I said, you know, Fisk. I work in
time out.
Fisk. I'm here to do this. I'm not interested in that. But whenever I walk in there, he said, "Did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? And this and that." I said, "Then it becomes so what? You know, life will continue, one word or another. So we got to protect our consciousness from negativity, yes?
Yes.
Because if you become too much negativity, you become part of the problem. Okay, and then you have all these political movements that, you know, people are looking to be saved now, you know, the second coming. Because everything, you know, things are really bad and we need a savior. Well, you are the savior. You're the one that saves yourself. Which means you have to take responsibility for your life in the most fundamental way. But therein is the challenge, there is the hope, and that's where the freedom lies, because everything in our life is based on choice. So you start making new choices. You start watching Artainment every day. You go out in Earth, I mean, I'm kind of joking. Make sure you get a good source of healthy, vibrant food, all these things. So that's very much part of the day. So we move on from Project Health, which is at the top of our 7-point platform. You know, now they're talking about Trump, let's make America healthy. The only way America is going to be healthy again is individuals are going to make themselves healthy. They're waiting for the government to make you healthy. Forget it. I mean, there's certain things the government can do in terms of regulating what Kennedy wants to do, a lot of the pharmaceutical poisons and the additives to the food. I mean, he's hip to a lot of things. He's been in this field for a while. I've been in this field since the mid-'70s. You know, I was a guy who was way ahead of the curve. Now, moving on, we go to what's called Project Light. This is where it gets really interesting, because, you know, we were based on a fossil fuel economy, oil-based economy. But by the way, oil is not fossil fuel. You know what oil really, what it is? And they've discovered this. This is a fact. It's abiotic. This is really interesting.
It's a what?
It's abiotic. I'll explain what it is.
Abiotic.
Abiotic. The earth is a living being. Oil is the earth's lubricant. It's a lubricant. And it's also what the oil is about, is to basically lubricate the tectonic plates. Really?
I heard where you were going with that. Yeah. Great Lakes, that's why we're having.
Yeah, because it's from a Native American perspective, indigenous. It's called, oil is called the blood of the earth. Okay, drilling it out. It's abiotic. What they've discovered, the Russians came, is that they had drilled all this oil out of, some of these, places where there are a lot of oil out of the earth, what do you call it? What would you call it? And then they discovered, they came back, and these wells were regenerated with oil. So what the earth, just like your body, like your blood, is regenerating its blood supply. And when you really, my God, so the earth is really, I got how much time?
15 minutes.
Oh my God. This is fun music, right? Nice. So I'll give you a little story, a quick sidebar on this. Are you able to hear this? Are you able to hear the music?
I hear it.
It's a good friend of mine. I'm very into the electronic music, the high-end electronic music. So this guy, he did an album called Sun Return, the region of Sun Return. It's got, because I was putting out New Age music catalog, this is a long time ago. He sent me his music called Sun Return. This is the time we didn't have CDs, it was a disc. And listen, this looks cool. So I love this. It's great. So it's called, he lives in Oregon, and then I already knew, I said, Michael, I love this music. I said, what was your background? What influence did you have as a young kid as a composer? I already knew. Bach. The kind of music that Bach would
It sounds like the harp.
yeah, B minor. No, this is. So I already knew he was influenced on an inner level. He was getting downloads from Bach. Because these guys just continue on. So I laughed. I said, so I created an album with his music and these images called Bach is Back. It's fun, right? Mm-hmm. Now Bach was foundational of Western civilization. That guy, he was contemporary of the Baroque era. People familiar with the Baroque? Incredible. If you go out, talk to the young people out there, they don't even know what the hell the Baroque is. They think it's, no, I'm not broke. I'm actually doing quite well.
Is that a style of architecture? A style of architecture, Baroque, and also art expression.
Yes. It was a golden age. And
I
Bach
love
and
that.
Handel evolved. I mean, these guys all incarnated together and left humanity with this incredible gift, legacy, yes?
Yes.
And what most people are, they're just being discovered. Now, just as a tip, okay, because we have a classical music station, here at Motorola was called KEFC. And every Sunday, between 7 and 9, they play sacred choral music.
Sacred what kind of music?
Sacred choral music.
Oh, sacred choral, okay.
And they pick music, fabulous recordings from all over the world. How much, what time? 10 more. And then, that's from 7 to 9, and then from 9 to 11, they play the best of the Baroque. So this is the thing I do, on Sunday. I plug into my radio station, and I put on my headphones and call, turn off the world for 4 hours. And I'm being infused. So what does that do with it creates a sense of awe and gratitude. You think about the genius of the universal mind that's creating this kind of music. So you get a real understanding of, think of God in you, the great artist of the universe. So then we know, well, what's up with humanity?
Do you meditate, or is that your form of meditation?
Well, I'm sort of in a state of meditation all the time. But when I go out to the ocean, well, first of all, I have to say, I have which we're going to put out, it's called the Cosmic Om. My friend Jonathan Goldman, you know Jonathan Goldman?
Yeah, I heard of him.
Yeah, he has one called the Cosmic Om, and it's just the harmonics of the Om, which is the I am, the Om. So he's not the only one. He created this CD. He's a good friend of mine. Sound. And I put these kind of images behind it, and I watch it. So why am I watching? Because it puts me right into the state of unitive consciousness. Because the Om is what the Godhead is saying 24/7. What is Om? It's I am.
The I am. So is this the faster meditation?
What?
I mean, is this faster manifestation through meditating with this music and those images?
Oh yeah, this is immediately meditative. And these images are all designed with the diamond. It integrates the right and left hemisphere of the brain. I don't know what.
No, that makes sense.
Well, it does. The diamond that you've seen, the diamond on the tree of life represents Tiferet, which is the center, which represents the heart center. The diamond in Buddhism, the diamond mind. So when you're infusing the diamond, it's a powerful, purifying energy. Diamond consciousness. The diamond is love, wisdom, and power. As above, that's the Christ consciousness. Holographically, it's all one consciousness, right? It's just one consciousness. So it's what we align to. So these videos, and there are many other programs out there, will create that actualization of oneness. So when you watch this stuff, of course a lot of people do microdosing. You know what microdosing is?
Yes, I've heard of it.
I want to try it, but
So, do a little microdosing and you watch this stuff. It's good, and your microdoses is better. But not necessary. See, we're all about life is just one big, great mystery experience. And so what are we talking about now? Is right. What is going to happen? Are we going to make it? We're going to dissolve? Are we going to hit higher levels of consciousness and evolution? Or are we going to get stuck in the war, separation? And I have a very beautiful, which you've seen, meditation, which I've been handing out all here, called the Earth Prayer for Peace, which is really, really beautiful. You have it. Now, here you go. I'll give you my email address.
Okay.
It's Global Peace 999. Global Peace 999 at AOL.com.
AOL still works?
Yeah,
I was just gonna.
I know people always kind of what?
globalpeace999@aol.com.
In fact, how much more time do we have?
Oh, you know what? She just handed me this.
6 minutes.
All right, here we go. Let's end this on a super positive note. I'll let you lead it. All right, so let's read this together. This is a big part because we have a section in the Light Party called Project Peace. Nothing more important than that. And the centerpiece of which I'll send to you is called the Ascension Process, which This all talks about humanity shifting into higher consciousness. It's a fantastic article. I put it right in the center, because that's the big picture. We're moving from one dimension into another, and as we move into higher dimensions, guess what's going to happen? We're going to have more and more powerful, direct experience with the benevolent ETs. We have all the knowledge and information of supporting humanity with infinite, non-polluting energy.
Okay, so when you just said, I'm sorry, you said ETs, meaning extraterrestrials.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm still coughing from the other room I was in. This person was channeling a not nice ET.
And not a nice one?
No.
Yeah, well, there's a big battle on this planet. It's been going on for a long time. 5 minutes?
Yes.
Who's going to control and run the planet? This battle has been going on. But ultimately, the light, it's Earth's destiny to move into an ascended state.
Good, because that's all I want to
Do
know.
you
Now,
subscribe to the?
here's the thing to understand. It's a process. There's all kinds of prophecy. But in the grand scheme of things, my consciousness on this planet has existed for billions and billions of years. I mean, so we need to gain a perspective, and yet we're all wanting to have, in quotes, a different world. And this sort of embodies the spirit of what I do on a daily level, and also knowing that there's millions of people who are praying, invoking, visualizing peace. So let's read this one. Let's read this one together.
Okay, we're ready.
We'll end the whole David Sermon on the Mount here. I'll let you.
I can read it.
I don't think they got one.
Here.
The Earth's prayer for
Let's
peace.
read this together, okay? So we now call upon the heavenly, we call upon all the powers that be. Here's one. We come together and we ask that the energy that's embodied in this earth prayers for peace, as it said, expands, expands, expands down through every cell, every atom, every electron, every chakra, every spiral, fractal of my being, and all beings, through all planes, and through all dimensions as allowed by cosmic law. So go ahead, this is how we'll end the talk. Go ahead.
So
We claim the earth so that we may be free for love and light and victory. In one united voice, we call peace, love, light, and freedom for one and all. We do not seek violent ways by war or bloodshed as in former days. We invoke golden, pink, and violet rays of peace.
Rays of peace.
On angels' wings of mercy and healing ray comes earth's release. We call to heaven's hosts, angels of light, love and truth, come to earth with millions of legends, transmute all plots and plans of terrorism and war, and in the place love, light, and harmony, our earth restore. Blaze the light through, blaze the love through, purify all on earth, and the earth's peace restore. We claim peace with freedom, our divine expression, so true of love, light, and sharing, and community too. A golden age now manifests for all humanity, all for one and one for all, living harmoniously. To heaven's hosts and angels of love, we are deeply grateful. Guide, guard, and protect us in the coming days, so we may live our lives in peace and freedom's way. Seal this in our hearts and the heart of the Divine Mother of Peace and the cosmic Christ of love. Thy will be done Salam, Hallelujah, Anchor lock, lock and seal 3 times. Anchor lock and seal. Anchor lock and seal. Lock and
One
seal.
of the best invocations. So we share this, we have a massive email, we share this with hundreds and hundreds of thousands. So, anyway,
Thank you for this, because I had to come in this room, because I had to clear out that last room I was in.
what was the title of that one?
Go to room A and look at the one that was before you, because I will not even
Well,
state the
here's how you
name.
can help me in the light part.
Person was channeling Dracos.
Oh, she was channeling the Dracos?
Yeah, he was
What, did she know that the Dracos are the you know,
serpents.
yeah,
Well, it was,
the dark energy,
Who was
right?
that?
No,
What was that?
at times he called them Dracos, at times
The reptilians?
the reptilians, but, like a different species, the reptilians have many different species, so.
Well, the good news is that those negative energies are on the way out. The light is winning,
Exactly.
the light is one, and that's why, because today, just like one person here, that Earth Prayer for Peace, we've sent this out to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people. That's with the, just by pressing a few buttons, we have a massive email. So it's called Synergy, the light, by claiming, this is one of the best invocations you're ever hear.
that was beautiful, thank you so much. I
So
just felt,
if you go to, lightparty.com, I'm gonna give you some cards, and let your friends know about us, because yours truly, we are, the 11th Saint Germain has anointed me as the Aquarian President of the United States of America.
I love that.
As a matter of fact. Because there's nobody doing this. Because I keep it light, okay. Beautiful art, right?
Yes.
The artists have the last word, that's my statement. Artists will always have the last word.
Yes.
And Mr. Beethoven, everybody familiar with Beethoven's Ode to Joy?
Yes.
You ever read the lyrics to it?
No.
Really lyrics to it.
I have it in my novel, which
What?
I'm finishing. I have it in my novel, which I'm finishing.
Incredible, incredible.
What was your
Okay. Well, thanks for joining in. It was a small gathering, but hey,
Downstairs in the rabbit.